All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's time for Off the Top Sportscast. I'm John, and that wonderful man right there is Roy. And we're just going to come and just shoot from the hip here today.
About a couple of them, but let's talk about what is interesting out there. And again, I'm a little, there were some coaches that they're talking about getting rid of, and I really don't think they deserve to be getting rid of. But let's talk about talk job openings. Atlanta.
I think Atlanta is a great job opening. The rumors are that Bill Belichick will be the next coach of Atlanta. I think that is a horrible job. Horrible, horrible choice.
Horrible choice.
I get that he's a good coach, or he was. I think you need some strong personalities and some real leadership in the building to bring him in. And they don't got it.
They don't got it.
I think Philly would have been the perfect job for Belichick. Now, they didn't end up firing their coach, which is another, conversation. But I thought that would have been better.
I think so too. A team that's fairly complete that needs some alterations. I think he could have done something with them.
And leadership in the defensive end and leadership in the offensive end. You know what I mean? So that he doesn't have to convince a team. He just has to convince the leaders. And then the leaders bring the team with them. Atlanta, to me, is a very, very, very interesting job. I think they've got a lot going on offense. I know their defense was better this year, but I don't think they have much going on defense because all their defense was 1 year to 2 year guys, veteran guys who they brought in this year, like Campbell.
So I think there's 7 teams. Let me see if I got it here. I know Raiders. I think did they hire Pierce?
They have not hired Pierce yet. New England hired Gerard Mayo, which I thought was real dumb.
Yeah,
you don't fire a guy and then hire his disciple. That's just more of the same stuff.
Yeah, you need to change. You got Carolinas. Good job, bad job.
Because of the owner, I think it's a bad job. The owner seems to be really involved, and I don't think the owner knows what he's doing. And you don't have any leeway, obviously, because he's had 3 coaches in the last 2 years. And they're going to need a lot of work,
Raiders, good job, bad job.
I think it's a good job. And I think they should hire their Pierce there.
Yeah, I don't think he did bad. I think Pierce may need some help. Somebody who maybe is a little bit, but I think he didn't do a bad job. I think he has the attention of the team, but you got to be careful. I always say you're going to have a coach or you're going to have a friend. You know what I mean? He may be a little too much on that. Yeah, he's a coach, but they look at him as a friend. You know what I mean? Some of these coaches who succeed are coaches. Tomlin, Harbaugh, Belichick, they're coaches. I don't think any of those guys, McDermott, I really go, hey, I'm your friend. You know what I mean? We're buddies. Right. But what about a team?
Hold on. Before we leave the Raiders, though, let's just reflect on what happened. Gruden got fired.
Right. True. Which I think he may be back.
But they hired the interim coach that they hired was the special teams coach. And that team played their butts off for that interim coach. What did they do? They didn't hire that guy. They let him go, brought in Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels for a year and a half. Then they fire him. Then they played their butts off for Pierce. So now you have a choice. You saw what they did with the interim coach before, and you didn't accept him because he didn't have the accolades or whatever. And now he comes in and the interim coach now, and they played their butts off again. Are you going to do the same thing and possibly miss out again? on your team's heart. There is such a thing as gaining the respect and the heart of your team so that they can play for you.
Yeah, I get it.
So
I get it.
that's the cautionary tale for the Raiders.
All right. Good team, bad team. When you look at the Chargers,
The Chargers are a difficult one. The Chargers have talent up the wazoo. They've had talent since 1998. That team has been talented. We can run down the talented guys on the Chargers teams that have done absolutely nothing since 1998. You know what I mean? Junior Seau, Sean Marion, Tom, on and on. They have owners that do not want to spend money. This year coming up, they are going to be in salary cap jail because of all the guys that they have on their team.
So good job or bad job?
I think for the right person, it's a good job.
I think possibly for a coach, the problem is you're going to purgatory. You know what I mean? You're going there and nothing's gonna be done. Tell you the truth, what I would do is I would try to trade Josh, trade him for some draft picks. He's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a bad. Justin, excuse me, Justin. Justin, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. And I think there's a team that could use him out there and that would take him. I don't think he's bad. I think he's got a good arm. I think he's a good quarterback. He's just in a bad system. I say trade him and get draft picks, make that a better team.
I don't think you can trade Justin Herbert. I think what you're going to have to trade, Keenan Allen is a free agent. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be able to bring him back. Mm-hmm. Mike Williams, you just signed him to a big contract. I might trade Mike Williams. And it's not because he's a bad quarterback, but I'm paying so much to my not because he's a bad wide receiver. I'm paying so much to my quarterback. I need my quarterback to make my wide receivers better. I've given you two really good wide receivers, and I've gotten nothing for it, right?
Think about it. You trade him. Well, think of the teams that are on top looking for quarterbacks out there.
Yeah, but Roy, what could they give you? What could a team give you? What would you take for Justin Herbert? Let's talk about that. What would the value be?
I think I don't have the draft order up right now, but this year is loaded with quarterbacks that are going to drop fairly low. Michigan's quarterback, I think Washington's quarterback, which
Herbert. You're not going for the number one pick overall?
They're not going to give you the number one pick. That's ludicrous.
Justin, I bet they would.
No, they won't. Maybe you can get number 3, because I think number 3 is where New England. I think you could get maybe as high as number 3. I don't think you're going to get Washington. They're going to go with the kid from North Carolina. Chicago, this is what's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you this now because we're not even there yet. We're talking about stuff like this. Chicago's going to probably give up that number 1. They're going to trade it. They're going to trade it to number 2. Then they're going to trade it to number 3. And they're going to load up City. Chicago, mark my words, they are keeping Fields. They're not going to go quarterback. So I say trade.
I'll tell you right now, Chicago would give you the number 1 this year, the number 1 next year, and Justin Fields for Herbert right now. Roy, they have never had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards. They have never had a quarterback. They've never had a good quarterback in the history of that franchise. Are you crazy? You don't think they would take Justin Herbert?
I don't think they would take Justin Herbert. I don't think. Think about it. Chicago's talking to everybody right now. They're telling everybody the number 1 is up. They don't want number 1. And I don't think they went to Los Angeles, San Diego, I mean, and said, "Hey, give me your," because again, I don't think they're gonna want that. I think they're gonna ride it with Justin Fields. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Good or bad? Washington Commanders.
I think that's a great spot. I think that's a great spot.
I think so. I think it's an easy spot.
I think they're set up to perfection. New owners that have big bank accounts. These are the same guys who own the Dodgers, okay? Magic Johnson and his friends, okay? You've got two fantastic young wide receivers in Dotson and Terry McLaurin. I love Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is the most underrated wide receiver in the whole league because he plays in Washington. You've got running backs in Washington. You just shedded your two biggest defensive anchors in Montez Sweat and Chase Young, and got number one pick, first round picks for him. Fantastic. So you've got cap space, you've got picks, and you guys who are willing to do whatever you need to spend. And you got young talent on offense. You don't have the quarterback, even though I don't think their quarterback is beyond repair or whatever you want to say. I don't think he's the one, but if they don't get a quarterback this year, I believe they shouldn't press it. I think they should build the offensive line, build the defensive line. Like, don't push for the quarterback if he's not there, because you can always get him another year, or set your team up for a free agent quarterback that wants a home, and that's a better way to go.
I don't know what you talk about, quarterback not there, because they're number two. They're very likely going to go quarterback. Drake May.
Washington is number two?
Number two. 1 Chicago, 2 Washington, 3 New England. That's why I'm saying I really think that what they're going to do is Chicago flip up to Washington, see what they give them, and then they're going to go Caleb Williams, or Chicago's going to flip with New England. So mark my word, they're going quarterback. But I say, again, I'm with you. Washington, boop, perfect job if I'm somebody.
I don't like Caleb Williams. I think he's soft mentally. So if I'm Washington, I stay right at 2.
They're saying Caleb Williams is what do you call the man? He's
a lot of things. Yeah.
All right, let's go to another one. Is this the job? Tennessee Titans. Great job.
I think it's a good job because the owners seem to understand football.
Tennessee Titans is an old team, man. Think about it. Who's going to be the running back? Who's going to be their running back next year?
Yeah, but you're looking at it from a coach can come in and put his stamp on that team.
Who's quarterbacking?
Will Levis. I like Will Levis.
That's your quarterback. That's your quarterback. Who's your running back? That's your team.
I don't know who my running back is. And I don't know who my wide receivers are. But I can tell you this. Yeah, but neither does Carolina. But their ownership is not savvy enough to hold on and wait and see what happens. Tennessee is. They wait, they see, they work.
I disagree with you. I think quarterback situation, I don't think that's the quarterback. I don't think they have a running back. I don't think they got I think that's a team that needs to do something, and I think they're in trouble. I don't think they're going to be nowhere next year.
Oh, no. You misunderstand. I'm not saying that it's a good place to go and start winning. You're not going to win next year. No. I'm saying the job is good. I'm saying that the franchise is a stable franchise, and you can start to build something there. Okay. But you're starting off at 0.
Oh yeah, you're starting off at.
But
Yeah.
you're starting off with a good salary cap because they ain't paying nobody.
No, they're not paying nobody.
They're not paying nobody. So you can go and get a free agent, or you can build your team.
Tennessee Titans is number 7. Number 7. And they're talking about right now in the draft orders, they're talking about Tennessee looking heavily at offensive tackle.
Yeah.
They're looking at
If,
that.
if I'm Tennessee, I'm waiting to see how the board drops. And if I can get to 4 and get Marvin Harrison Jr. for Will Levis, that's a win. That's a win.
I don't think Marvin Harris is going to go down. We got two quarterbacks going in the beginning. But I think, again, I'm telling you, listen to what I'm saying. I think Chicago's going for Harris. And then if not, Arizona's going to swap him up. They're not going. Because let me see. Arizona, I think, is number 4. Arizona's number 4. He's not passing number 4. He will be at number 4. Arizona's 4. He's not going to get past Arizona. Good or bad job, Seattle Seahawks.
Fantastic job. That's the best job.
Now, what? You think that's over Washington?
Man, the thing about Seattle is you got a
team built. You
got an offense.
You got an offense.
You got running backs, wide receivers, okay, offensive line. You've got a good, maybe potentially great, young defense. You just need a quarterback. And you got a quarterback that can still win some games while you mold the quarterback of your future.
Yeah. I think
they're in a better spot than Washington is.
In the sense of the now.
Yes.
That's what I feel at the now.
I mean, even in the next 2 or 3 years, they're in a better spot because of how young and good their defense is. They all got drafted last year. You're not going to have to pay any of those guys for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
The benefit of that.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. For everybody, remember, we're looking for subscribe because we're looking for 25. So remember, when it comes to sports,
talk to a stranger about sports today.